Another AI voice agent that follows up with people that you service after you service them, which would require an intern calling them, to see if they need any additional service, ask for a review on Google, ask them if they know anybody else that would refer them, and they get a referral bonus. If I had a plumbing business and I had 100 people working for me for free, I would literally jam them into all these functions. Okay.
As an immigrant, do you feel more driven by curiosity or fear of losing everything than a human is capable of?
Fear has never been a driver for me. I think it is a little bit genetic. Different people respond to fear. It's an attribute. So some people are driven by fear and some people are not. So that's the first thing.
The concern I have for most immigrants is that they've not envisioned that. And two, we are not actually preparing our children so that they can become competitive in a society where machine produces more, faster, better.
When I saw the ChatGPT moment, first I realized I'd missed like a technology transformation here. But then the second thing I realized is that I need to be in it and I need to build AI apps. Okay? And I did not know how to do it and I did not know what to build. So the way I started was just get in, build anything. I'm like, without getting it, like too much over planning doesn't really change anything. So my first tip for people is that just go in, do something. Use AI to the best of your knowledge to equip yourself before you can prepare your kids. I need to take the steps first myself so I'm able to enable and empower my kids.
Immigrants, welcome to the pod. I am your host. My name is Martin. And in today's pod, we have a story that will blow your mind away. Idea of the pod is to dig deep and find out the stories of immigrants who've impacted our society in profound ways. Today's guest, Alex Mehr, Iranian immigrant, NASA scientist turned entrepreneur, co-founder of Zusk, which scaled to hundreds of millions in revenue, and now leader in the AI space with deal.ai. But this conversation isn't about accolades and what he has been able to achieve. It's about identity, pressure, reinvention, and what it really costs to build a life between two worlds, and identify execution within us, around us, about us, and how to utilize and maximize our full potential. Alex, welcome to the pod. What do you think of home? As an immigrant, we always have that root behind us. I came from, that was my home, or is still my home. But then I live here, I do here, I execute from here, and this has become home. So, when you think of home, do you feel clarity or do you feel kind of a permanent displacement?
I feel clarity. I'm an American. I'm an American first. This country has given me everything, to put it mildly. And when I came here, I had nothing. It's not, I mean, the thing about America in particular is when they say it's the land of opportunities, I believe it, because it can be rough at times in the sense that if you don't know how to navigate it, you don't know, you don't learn, you don't adapt. It's the land of individualism, and you may feel that it is a little bit unkind. So I sort of sympathize with people, who are not doing really well, and our goal should be to provide opportunity for everybody. But I sympathize with them specifically because when I arrived in the US, I had no money. I couldn't speak the language. I couldn't understand. When I turned on the TV, I couldn't understand what was going on. When I went to my classes, I barely understood what the teachers were talking about, let alone be able to do the homeworks. And it is, coming from a completely boxed out country like Iran, where I had essentially no access to the outside world. Um, it was, I want to say, it was tough to assimilate. Um, but then, but then I was determined, and I wanted to make this country my home. And I knew the American ideal, which is why I immigrated to this country. I read books about, you know, George Washington and Alexander Hamilton. I read the Federalist Papers, believe it or not, in Iran, in Farsi. And I always wanted to be part of this American movement, even though I didn't quite understand what it meant at the time and the nuances, because it's very nuanced. And when I moved here, it was definitely a struggle for a year, maybe two. I had to pick up the language, I had to understand the culture, I had to learn basic things like how to order food, you know. It's a basic, I'm talking basic. I had never seen broccolis in my life.
Right.
I could not believe bananas were so cheap. Okay. So it's
I
when
still don't
had
believe bananas are so cheap in America. It blows my
yeah,
mind
exactly.
away.
It's a very American thing. So, when I ate at McDonald's pretty much every day, and it was the best food I'd ever had in my entire life.
So legend.
Because coming from, the rural area of Iran, my taste buds were not exposed to American food chemical experimentation. So it was everything I would put in my mouth in McDonald's would hit all, dopamine centers in my brain, and it was sort of insane, But once you go through that phase, and if you're determined to assimilate and make this country your home, that's when you can reap the benefits of the American system, which is not perfect, but it's the best I've ever seen. And now at this age, I've traveled many countries, I've done business in many countries. I've been all over the world, and I still, when I come back to America, I'm like, man, this is my home, and it's the best country in the world.
What part of you felt so akin to America before you came to America? What was it? Was it the book that taught you about Alexander Hamilton that really got you thinking? What was it that really, when you sit back and you look, you wanted to go to this place that you had not pure exposure of what it looked like or was? What was that driving force?
So, when I was a kid, I grew up in sort of an academic family. My dad was a physics teacher and really cared about books and reading and stuff like that. So he bought me a lot of books on very low salary, but he did what he could. And I read a lot of biographies, and obviously famous people like Einstein, different scientists, but also I had a lot of reading materials on the American founding stories. Okay, so essentially, think of it like essentially what they would teach in civic class, which is like me. Imagine this is pre-internet, obviously,
Of course.
and there's no TV. Okay, there's state TV, but I don't have access to outside TV, and no Hollywood. So, growing up in a small town north of Iran, isolated from the rest of the world, my window to the world, and I see the world around me, which is like a limited, world of what you can accomplish, what you can be in that little bubble, But then I was reading these books that showed me a window. I remember reading a lot of those books. It was like looking through a window and seeing a world where you can be what you want to be, okay? Where you're not limited by what the society thinks you are, the class family you're born in. It's like you can build yourself up, okay? Yeah. And that window was an insanely attractive view, okay, that didn't exist in the world around me, okay, but it existed in these books. And mostly it was the American dream, the American ideals, okay. Now people can say it's cheesy, okay, but I honestly don't care, because most people, especially when I talk to my friends who obviously have lived their lives in America, they've not lived in another country, a lot of things that this country provides, they take for granted, okay? But I'm like, most of the world, you cannot break out of the mold. You growing up as a child in a family, you probably do not get to break the mold that your family and your environment puts on you. You will not get the opportunity. And that's true not just in third world countries or developing countries, it's also true in like Europe. So US is a very specific, when they say the American experiment, America is really a very unique country in the sense that you can shape yourself, build yourself, and build your dream. That no one says the path is going to be easy, but there is a path, okay?
Yeah.
So just the fact that there's a path is enough for me. I don't care if I have to suffer. I don't care if I have to take chances. I don't care if I have to face my enemies on that path. As long as there is a path, I sign up. So to answer your question, I went on a long path here, but that was ingrained in me since I was a little kid. And when I was a kid, if you ask me what you want to do, and my dad was a physics teacher, so my view was shaped by that, right? So I was like, I'm gonna grow up, I'm gonna immigrate to America, and I'm gonna become a physicist, and I'm gonna work for NASA, because I was also getting these magazines that my dad had subscribed me to. It was about space. It was the only space magazine in the country, and I was reading that, and I was like, I want my dad physicist, space, America. Okay. Yeah. So it wasn't like an accident. It was like it was a life journey. I manifested it, so to speak.
I am very curious. Your dad manufactured your life for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you came into it. So how differently, and doing this part of research, I really did not look at it, but I'm gonna ask anyways. If you have children or plan to have children someday in the future, yes. So how differently are you raising your kids from how your dad raised you?
Really good question, and it's a tough one to answer because I don't think I can be as good as my dad. So my dad was the best. Was both an intellectual, he cared a lot, and given the circumstances, a country going through war, all the issues that come with that, he did an amazing job, protecting me, shielding me and my sister, and providing us with materials we needed to kind of grow our mind, okay? Mm-hmm. Which I am forever in debt to him. He passed away 2 years ago. I think my kids will have a different set of challenges than I did.
Okay.
I hope so. Given my starting conditions, my dad had to show me hope. Show me that there is a world outside of this little town, north of Iran. Okay. So that was his job, and he did a superb job of that. I think my kids will face a different set of challenges. And again, people might roll their eyes, but I actually truly believe it. I think my kids are gonna face the challenge of AI and how to live in a world where there are non-human entities smarter than them, mm-hmm. and how they can add value to the world and navigate that really difficult to fathom future, which is not that far out. Okay.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So my job is different than my dad's job. My job is to equip them. They're like 4 year old and 1 year old, so it's too early. But my job is to sort of be able to see through that fog of what the world of the future 30 years, 40 years from now is going to look like, and find a way to position them for that world. Okay, which is very different than the world that we live in today or the world I grew up in. Okay, so how am I going to do that? I have my own, thoughts on that, and we can dive into it. I think
So
it'll
I want us
evolve
to dive
quickly.
into that
Yeah.
because this is really important that you actually accelerated to a place where eventually I was going to come based on your experience and background. But I wanted us to have these conversations because as immigrant parents, we have a responsibility to make sure that our children are adding value to society, but at the same time, they're also enjoying life and they're successful.
Yes.
We both recognize without a shadow of a doubt that at some point my son will not drive himself at all. I even don't
Correct.
care about teaching him how to drive.
Exactly.
I also know that he will have available to him a multiplication of languages that he can translate in a dime just like that.
Exactly.
I also am very much aware that some of the chores and tasks I spend quite a little bit of time working on at my house, he will never do. He will have a companion in terms of a robot that has more intelligence that will perform those tasks on him.
Correct.
The concern I have for most immigrants is that they've not envisioned that. And two, we are not actually preparing our children so that they can become competitive in a society where machine produces more, faster, better than a human is capable of. So for them not to be redundant members of society, for them to avoid being colonized by robots and machines, how do they get to a place where they're not competing in intellect, because I don't think they will, but that they are capable of adding unique value to society?
Yeah. Let me give you my current answer, okay, which will definitely evolve over time as I see this technology evolve.
Right.
When I started this company 3 years ago, I jumped into it. I have a lot of, even during my PhD, I worked on neural nets and artificial intelligence. So I was familiar with AI, okay, different technologies, specifically neural net, but I wasn't really paying attention to it for 5 years before ChatGPT came out. Okay, I even attempted to build an AI project in 2016, and AI was so primitive, I just abandoned it. I moved on. Okay, so when I saw the ChatGPT moment, first I realized I'd missed like a technology transformation here. But then the second thing I realized is that I need to be in it, and I need to build AI apps. Okay, and I did not know how to do it, and I did not know what to build. So the way I started was just get in, build anything, okay, AI related. And then, one thing is, Mike Tyson says everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Right. I'm like, without getting it, like too much over planning doesn't really change anything. So my first tip for people is that just go in, do something. Use AI to the best of your knowledge to equip yourself before you can prepare your kids. You need to understand. My dad was educated at he had prepared himself. He couldn't execute himself. He gave me the tools to lift myself. Does that make sense? Yes. But he had taken steps before he was able to enable me. Okay, so I need to take the steps first myself, so I'm able to enable and empower my kids. That's like first thing. And you may not know what you're going to do. I'm just telling you, just start playing with AI. Try to increase how you use AI, what tools you use, depth, and quantity and quality of your work with AI. Just increase it so you get a feel for it. It doesn't matter that you're not good at it or you don't understand exactly what you're doing. That's what I did with this company. Now, what happened over time was really interesting because I'm a tech entrepreneur. I've been a tech entrepreneur since 2007. In my first company, I had roughly my engineering. So it was in San Francisco. We had 3 floors, and top floor was my floor, and I had 100 engineers, product developers, graphic designers, and I was sitting in the middle, working with everybody. Like I was like, I never had an office. I just worked with 100 engineers, product developers, teams, mobile team, web team, email team. It's like complete hierarchy. So I'm very familiar. I say that because that's like something I know really well. That world went upside down with AI. So when I started this company, I started hiring engineers. I had more engineers in the early days of this company than I have now, because we had, junior engineers reporting to senior engineers, to team leads, stuff like that. So, but AI completely shifted it. I really quickly realized the job of writing lines of code and having a senior developer review it is not worth, that person is gone. It's like, it's not even worth writing the code anymore, because the time it takes for the senior developer to review the code is the same as the time it takes faster to ask AI to write it. Okay. Yeah. So what is left? So I had this moment where I'm like, okay, wait, I'm building a tech company, but I don't need that many engineers. So what is it that we need? And in the past 2 years, I want to say, it's like the first year was like build a typical engineering team. Then I'm like, okay, let me destroy it and build it from scratch in the new way. And in a new way, when we interview a new engineer to join my team, I actually don't look for technical abilities anymore. You will not believe this. I'm looking for taste. Okay? Taste. So, which is never something that crossed my mind when I was building an engineering team before. It is like, does this person understand this thing? Because writing the code, building the thing, AI can do it in like 2 minutes. Okay. So, but does it make sense? Is it tasteful? And I have another word for it, which is art. Okay. Yeah. So engineering has turned into art. The most engineering part of engineering, which is computer science, has turned into an art. Okay. So, and now I see that more and more. Like, okay, so you want to analyze your accounting. I don't even ask my CFO questions. I just download statements from credit card and bank, drop it into Supercool or any AI, and say, hey, can you do this? Give me the answer much faster than a CFO. Okay? Yeah. So then what is a CFO's role? It is the art of knowing. It's not about like organizing the Excel sheet anymore. It's about the art of knowing what matters and what doesn't. Engineering is becoming the art of knowing, is this good? Does it like please the user or it doesn't? Okay. So the way I see it right now, everything is turning into, I even say like other professions like accounting, legal will probably be less about, oh, let's find five, analyze this and 5 court cases that are relevant to this precedents. It's all about like, okay, but how do you, is this argument is likely to resonate. Okay. So even that is going to, I think, essentially, so this is, I went in a loop, but what I'm saying is the way I see it right now, everything that we considered either hard sciences or soft sciences or skills is turning into an art because AI can do the legwork. Okay, so what does that mean when it comes to preparing your kids for that? Your kids need to develop the art of knowing what matters, what doesn't. You can call
identifying
it
a problem.
Yes, exactly. So it's like that is, in fact, a very hard thing to train for, but that I think is where there will be a lot of opportunities for people to thrive. So that's my long answer.
Very interesting. I like how you dovetail into it because you really did bring us around to what that is supposed to look like. Let's look at today's small business entrepreneurs, right? You know, five, six, seven, eight-figure earners. For immigrants who are playing in that space, if you're speaking to them, how should they adopt AI into two areas: their lifestyle and into running their businesses?
Yeah. So I'm going to repeat the first point I said last time. Is like, to me, it is less important about how you do it. It's more about, are you taking that step? Okay.
Right.
Because
Right.
it's really the act of doing it that informs your next step. Okay. So it's like, you can't overplan it because things are not really clear. And trust me, everyone's a little confused. It's not just you.
Mhm.
That's a good news, actually. The second part um, is one framework you can use. If I had a lot of intern, if I could snap my finger and have 100 really smart, motivated, work around the clock interns at my disposal for free, okay, what would I have them to do? Okay, and then you have two potential answers. One is, like, literally do that brain exercise, okay, and ask yourself, okay, 100 interns at my door, smart, dedicated, free. What would I have them to do? I bet you a lot of people do not know how to utilize them. That's probably the first bucket of problems. And that is a you issue. Okay? Meaning you don't know how to scale your business even if unlimited amount of resources was available to you. That is a you issue. Okay? Forget about AI. Solve that problem first in your head. They're like, 100 people showed up, they're willing to work for me for free, they're all smart. What do I do? If you cannot answer that question, it is a you issue. Okay? So, but the second part is, okay, so you have an answer, you have a hypothesis. Okay? I promise you, you can get AI to do the task of those 100 interns. The rest of it is mechanical. And like I always say, it's good when it's an engineering problem because engineering problems are solvable. It's an engineering problem. So you need to just figure out how to mechanically, like, to give you an example, somebody has whatever, a plumbing business. Well, I bet you they have a lot of missed connections from people who call, who want a plumbing service, and then there's no connection. They hang up and call the next plumbing guy, AI voice agent. It's like, it's simple, right? Another AI voice agent that follows up with people that you service after you service them, which would require an intern calling them, to see if they need any additional service, ask for a review on Google, ask them if they know anybody else that would refer them, and they get a referral bonus. That is if I had a plumbing business and I had 100 people working for me for free, I would literally jam them into all these functions. Okay. And I would have them labor on the phone and like talk to the customers all day long. And well, that's AI. So it's really like at that part, how you do it. There are a bunch of services that do it, and you can Google it, ask AI how I should do it. It will tell you how to use AI in your business. So it's end of the day, but the first problem is the hardest one, believe it or not. So most people will have that first problem, which is not an AI or AI implementation or engineering problem. It is literally a you issue. So you have not thought about your business deep enough.
Okay, so I have a confession now that you say that. Yeah, what the hell? I'm going to share. For the last 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, I've worked with AI, and we've used AI a lot in our organizations. And part of that, we've been able to scale in some areas and also reduce in certain areas. A good thing, however you look at it. But I have this thing inside of me that every time I pull up ChatGPT, or I am on Claude, or I am on any other platform that is an AI platform, I have this thing in me where it's almost an excitement, but really a me problem, scary. Because I feel there's so much opportunity in what I am looking at on my screen, and I'm not sure where to start, where to go with it. But the biggest dilemma, having spoken with a few entrepreneurs in my circle, is actually knowing what and when to bring that thing to the marketplace. So how do we bring our ideas to the marketplace?
So you will see this theme with me. I am the opposite of an overplanner.
Right?
So I'm the opposite of it. Whatever, minimal planner. Okay. So look, action produces information, and the vision, it will never be fully clear. It's always gonna look like you're walking through fog. Okay. So there's a Bible verse. We walk by faith, not by sight. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, if the plan is never revealed to you in full, because that would be sight. Okay. But as long as you have faith that you are able to take one step, and then the next step will be revealed to you. Whether you believe in the biblical interpretation or the, materialistic interpretation, where, the action produces information and you learn, your brain picks up the information. Either way, it is the same. So you take steps, the next step becomes clear. You take another step, the next step becomes clear. So that's why I say I don't plan that much. It's because of that, because I don't believe you can plan really long journeys. You do them one step at a time. And when there is an abundance of opportunities, you can take many different steps. That's good news, because hey, other people have the same problem. They see like, okay, they're drinking from the fire hose and it's all, it's the same with everybody else. So you should be happy that it's an untapped market. So the way I think about it is, look, this is can be a great technology. I don't say it is the best. It's all good. No, there's bad in AI too. But what it does is that it enables you to execute really rapidly. So take it for what it is. Execute super rapidly. Take the first idea, execute it. Our products can build ourselves. You can go on supercool.com, type your idea, it will build an app or a website for you. Host it, ready to go. So with that, you have two options. One, be overwhelmed, or two, take the step. Then take the next step, and the next step will be revealed to you. It's just a super simple framework. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So, as an immigrant, do you feel more driven by curiosity or fear of losing everything?
I actually don't care if I lose everything. I don't know. I'm weird.
Walk us through how you got to that attitude. That's very interesting to me, because this has become, and you and I know, this has become the dilemma of most entrepreneurs, right? They grow their business to a certain number, and then they spend the rest of their life protecting that one.
Correct. Yes.
Take it over.
That's a mistake. So, I mean, I can't even say it's a mistake, because people have different reasons.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I sort of feel like I never, Fear has never been a driver for me. I think it is a little bit genetic. Different people respond to fear. It's like it's an attribute. So different people respond to fear differently. It is a little bit about how your amygdala in your brain works. It's like literally it's an attribute in your brain. So some people are driven by fear and some people are not. So that's the first thing. Okay. Fear was not a driver for me. But in general, I think logically, driving from a place of fear is a low frequency, if you believe in that kind of stuff, way of thinking. It's just like it's like driven by fear. Like, okay, you want to live your life that way, make decisions that way, be my guest, but I don't want to live my life that way. I want to be driven by something of higher value. So it could be a vision. Okay, then I'm excited, then I feel creative, then I want to wake up in the morning and attack that problem. When I get punched by it, I don't like cower and go hide under the blanket anymore because I'm driven by a higher purpose. I think that is what I don't know. I prefer to live my life that way. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just a preference, maybe.
I know you did not get there because you got there. I know you did put in a little bit of work to get there. And I'm not saying you're super right or wrong. Neither are all the other entrepreneurs that would be struggling with holding on to one versus building multiple, right? And I want to believe that you're driven by something within you to want to create and to recreate.
It is actually understanding that I like my life more when I create. I just like it. Okay. And I don't like it when I'm just built something and I just sit on it and protect it. It's just not it doesn't really appeal to me. And on top of it, I think it's Napoleon who said, um, those who stay back in the castle will ultimately eventually lose. So it's this strategy of building a castle and just sitting it, like trying to hold yourself in this wall. One, I don't think it is a good way of living. Okay. Two, I think you will eventually lose. So it's better to, I'm not saying be reckless. That's not what I'm saying. But explore, go outside of your comfort zone, build in new things, stretch yourself, and take risk. You have to take risk. And yes, you fall on your face. I've fallen on my face many times. It hurts. It hurts big time. But you know that saying that when life pushes you back, push back up 10 times harder. Life pushes you back. You feel like you go into fetal position, which happens all the time.
Right?
And then you wake up the next morning and you're like, open your chest and you're like, I am going to push back 10 times harder. So that is, I think, a superior, I don't know, maybe I don't want to even say superior way of thinking. That's how I like to live my life. How about that? Yeah.
Do you, sitting here having this conversation with me, by the way, thanks for making the time for us. Do you feel like there's something you really fundamentally believed, really cared for, were passionate about, but then you've realized it was a lie?
Yeah, many times. I mean, I can give you examples in entrepreneurship. I can give you many examples, yes. Silicon Valley, case in point. Mm-hmm. So, when I became an entrepreneur, 2007, I lived in Silicon Valley. Around me were also like everything is about like tech startups and VCs and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know if you've lived in San Francisco, but that's kind of how the life is. And looking at it from outside, it looks like, oh, these people are like, they're there to change the world, and VCs are there to help entrepreneurs, like, this thing that you hear. And then you get into it. And it's
What
like,
changes?
yeah, it's like Real Housewives of New Jersey. It's like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's completely a facade. Okay?
Right? Too much drama.
Too much drama, completely corrupt. Now, I don't say there are amazing people there. There are amazing people like everywhere else. But this image from outside that I had completely collapsed within 1 or 2 years of raising venture capital and starting my first tech startup. And just like, respect level was like 100 out of 100, went to 20 out of 100. So it's like an example of how from outside things can look a certain way, and then you go in and you're like, it's just the same crap as everywhere else.
Yeah.
So it's like that example came to mind.
You seem like you're an instinctual leader. There's that thing that you trust to come out of you, and you just pursue it blindly and relentlessly because you're convinced there's good to the end of it. Does that allow you to have a soft landing when you've experienced failures?
Yes, because I know it was worth it. So essentially, one framework you can think about it, you said instinctual. A framework for that is regret minimization. It's like, if you take on journeys that are worth being on, which is why I said it's important to like and enjoy and respect the purpose of the journey, okay?
Yes.
Then when you fall, you say, that sucked, but it was worth it, okay? So being able to say that is the best thing that can happen to you, because you feel, first of all, it prevents you from taking on stupid stuff. But then you also kind of, it gives you permission to stand up and try again if you believe in that new vision and purpose. And trust me, I fail at macro level and micro level. Okay, micro level means inside the company, I say, okay, I don't know why I think this should be done. I can articulate my reasons, but I can also articulate against my reasons. So I always can articulate things, argue things from both sides. And and all important decisions are, by the way, that way. Any decision that is one-sided, very clear on one side, it's not a decision. So the important decisions are always look like pros and cons, right? So you look at it like, I think the pros outweigh the cons, and I'm gonna go with it, okay? And I'm the first person to reverse my decision when it turns out I'm wrong, which happens often. But it was worth it because I learned something. So it's why I keep, like, the running theme here seems to be that I don't overthink my decisions. I'm like, okay, my instinct, my gut says, and by the way, gut is such an important tool. Okay, honing your gut, protecting it from being influenced by other people, by being like, your gut says something is wrong. It's like the best signal that you have. Okay. And I see that, like, in business all the time. I even see the numbers and my gut says something is broken. And then I look for proof to validate what my gut thinks, and it turns out to be correct all the time. So it's like the gut is like listening to your gut feeling, listening to your instinct. And also, while you listen to your instinct, not being stubborn. So it's a little bit of a dichotomy. So you want to be instinctual leader, like you said. You want to trust your instinct, But also, you need to know when your instinct is wrong and reverse course. That's really the art of entrepreneurship, really, in one sentence. And 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 I'm like, okay, so how do you develop that? Sleepless nights, many failures, seeing it all, which is
Out of
something that AI
conflict.
doesn't have. Yeah, exactly. Which is something that you
Right.
have over AI. So let's say that
So
is my advantage over AI.
it's very interesting that entrepreneurs live in that space, where there are no guarantees. Yet every morning we wake up into that space. We live in an environment where tension is a by the day type of a deal, but we learn how to manage that on a daily basis. Earlier, when we started having this conversation, you spoke very proudly of your Americanism, your American individualism, the idea of you actually being an American and the opportunity America has offered you. I know all that too well because I describe myself as an immigrant by choice. I choose to be an American. I chose to be an American and continue to do that. As an American immigrant with Iranian background, do you find yourself within yourself tensions rising and falling around Iran's global position today? Do you feel as if political issues or something a little more deeply is going on that you do not understand why it's been so complicated or difficult to resolve?
I don't know how many Iranians you've met. There are a lot of them in America.
Yes.
They are, one way I describe fellow Persians is they are in general, obviously every society has variety in it, are driven people, good people, kind people, and successful people. Okay? In general, they
Absolutely.
achieve high levels of academic achievement, business achievement, pretty much anything they touch. In general, they're good at it. Okay? Now, imagine a country of 92 million people, of those people, all right? Completely under a regime that has full control over it, that's just like suppressing everybody for
Yeah.
5 decades, right?
Yeah.
So, what you get is uh, a lot of potential energy. Kind of think of it like a lot of energy, suppressed energy, ready to explode. Okay. Now, as an American, I put my American hat. I'm like, well, is it to America's short-term benefit and long-term benefit to do something about what's going on in Iran? And in short term, it might hurt. In the long term, I think Iran can, once you unleash that potential energy, unleash the people, allow them to be creative and productive again, it will be a very strong country, a prosperous country, and it will be an ally of the United States. Okay? So, as an American, I think it is good for America. Now, even though I am sort of, I hate wars. I mean, in general, I hate wars. I hate like anything that. It's like, again, two things, two sides. I hate wars. On the other side, I'm like, well, now that we are in it, if it turns out for the better, hopefully the outcome is going to be positive. So I'm optimistic in that regard. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So that's sort of my 2 cents on it.
So I'm now conflicted because you're optimistic about what Iran can become. I am conflicted because at some point I was you. Actually, a few days ago, I was optimistic about what Iran can become, because when you read up about the history of your mother country, it's amazing history, amazing people, amazing values.
Mhm.
But to me now, it starts to feel like those of us who made the choice to bring war to Iran are starting to walk back after we encouraged the people to go out on the streets and promise to support them. But now it's feeling like that promise is wavering, and because of our local politics, we're wavering. Is there hope in actually getting to what the ultimate goal was? Or are we stuck again for another 50 years of oppression?
I hope not. So I tell you this: when the war started, I was optimistic, and I'm still optimistic. But I thought everybody underestimates how difficult this is going to be,
Absolutely.
because the warfare of today is not the warfare of yesterday, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And the regime has had 4 or 5 decades to entrench themselves, build all sorts of guerrilla warfare tactics and stuff like that. It has to be the case. So I knew it would be a little bit harder than what people estimated. And I knew it would be kind of like everybody's at the beginning, everybody has the, oh, this is going to be a quick thing, but then it's going to turn out to be ugly. That's normally how war is, by the way.
Mhm.
So, having said that, the agents of change, meaning people inside Iran, plus the external, Iranian expats, that is a pretty strong community, will eventually conquer. Essentially, I have this. I'm weird. I always think, uh, is in the battle between good and evil, good will always conquer. It's like
Good
almost
will
I'm
always
like a
conquer,
child
right?
that way. It's
Yeah.
like I read the storybooks when I was a kid, so I took them too seriously, I guess.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so I sort of have this thing where I'm like, you know what, it might look messy and it's gonna look disappointing, but that's like the hero's journey. No movie goes straight, to the ending without like twists and turns, and there's going to be setbacks, and the hero of the story is going to go through troubles, and that's what makes movies interesting. That's what makes life interesting. So I expect some of that, but end of the day, I feel it's going to be a movie with a happy ending. So I hope.
Mr. Mayor, in moments of conflict, do you feel pressured to explain, defend, or distance yourself from your origins?
From my origins, as in like I'm born in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
No, because I have nothing to distance myself from. I didn't control where I was born.
Yeah.
I had no control over it. I understand it for the good and bad. I can lay it out. I'm like,
Right.
it's like, in a way, I feel blessed. Believe it or not, I feel blessed because it gave me a unique perspective on life that is hard to achieve if you're born in a Western country. So, in that sense, I feel blessed. I consider myself an American of Iranian descent, and I think it's a beautiful thing. So I own it.
Excellent, excellent. Alex, listen, we are at the top of the hour, and the last thing I want to do is not be respectful of your time. So I want to say thank you for making the time. But before we sign off, I want to tell you now, this is only part one of our conversation because I halfway there, and I think we need to get finished. So are you open to coming back again soon?
Sure thing.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, listen, thank you so much for making the time for the Immigrant Pod. Immigrants across the globe appreciate the hour you spent with us. There's so much value in here. Thank you, dude. This has been amazing. Tell our listeners where they can find you on social media, please.
You can find me at Dr. Alex on Instagram. Doctors is spelled out. And check out my product, supercool.com.
Excellent, excellent. Immigrants, follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Immigrant Nation Pod, Facebook, the Immigrant Nation Podcast, LinkedIn, and YouTube, the Immigrant Nation. Alex, until next time, Mr. Mehr, I sign off. Thank you. We appreciate you. Stay in touch. Bye bye.